Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we also want to talk about the most important topic about masculine and the feminine. So we want to look at is God masculine or feminine? And we are expressing this only looking at the sexual rituals that happens in everyday life. It might be during the night. People ought to have sexy rituals. So, in the sexual rituals, remember, mostly the sexual we have are represented by uh, uh, there's a female and a male. So when these look at, so was God feminine or is God masculine? That is what we wanted to look at. We have looked at on this on male and female genders only. We haven't looked at other genders like the transgender, those who are transgender and non-binary, and all looking at the lesbians only, or looking at the gays only. No, we haven't looked into other genders, but we have we want just express in female and female and explain is God uh, feminine or masculine. Remember, God is us. God lives and is us, is linked to these avatars, and it's who once you discover your true self, your divine power, your divine self, then you are God. You are everything that exists. That's it. So that is what we want to explain. So who is God? Is he masculine or this masculine? We have to look depending on it, avatar perspective, depending on it, state of being, depending on it, avatar perspective. That is looking into the chromosomes that someone have, or we should look at avatar perspective. We should also look at the genital organs that someone have to explain how he or she how he is supposed to express himself or herself. That is because looking at you as a divine being, you are depending on gender and what you have to present out there. You have to first look at the avatar, and the avatar first is what define how you have to portray to the society. If it has the female genitals, there's gender roles attached to it, but you don't need to employ by conditioning. And if you have a male penis, then there are also gender roles attached to it. Then you have to go deep into what the avatar is. Now looking at the number of chromosomes that someone or the other have. All of that express the avatar perspective on how you should define yourself in the society. They might have you have X and the chromosomes present in X and the Y chromosomes, and all that is up to you. Now, if you have more of Y chromosomes or X chromosomes, then you might end up having an avatar that have a penis, but because of the chromosomes you have still have a lot of estrogen hormones that end up makes you portray present your avatar to the society as a female, because it's inside your chromosomes while you have a penis, the same as to someone who is a girl, or like, or you can say lesbian, or the same apply to anyone who even he is transgender. The same principle apply. And now we also look at this now state of mind. And state of mind mostly is portrayed now in we can visualize and interpret state of mind in the sexual rituals that uh, people have. Because in the sexual rituals, we say is where now the someone is so and someone is so intermingle and portray the behavior. Although now people have even built up confidence on how they have to present themselves when doing rituals, because right now humanity have developed to such a degree that we need to become God by learning, realizing our divine self, integrate the technology we have, and know that we are here to learn, grow, and actualize. So today we want to talk is God feminine or masculine? That is the topic we want to focus on today. And this is from wikipedia.com. And it says, and the title is Gender of God in Christianity. So it says Christianity is represented by the trinity of three hypostatus or person described as in Christianity, God is described as Father. That is, we say God is the Father, and we also describe as a Son. Now, the Son we refer mostly to Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Now we refer to the Spirit that the Father, the Son is. So it continues to say, while Father and the Son implicitly invokes masculine sex. You see, the Father and the Son, it invokes masculine sex, because once we say Father and Son, we now look at the avatar of that someone holds. So if the avatar is has the will know that if it's a son and a father, then looking at the avatar perspective, that is at the body perspective, we know it has a female or a male penis, but God is it really, does God really have a penis or fat, or these are just look presented depending on the power self of God that someone needed to portray out there, that God is all from all powerful. That means everything, whether it is male or female, at the avatar perspective, as long as it has God in it, it is of powerful than the like the Father itself, like the old thing that exists. And the whole thing that exists, we already say that is nothingness. Nothingness is what God is. So, does it really mean invokes masculine sex? That is what I have. That is what it has said, and it's not that you can now know that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit doesn't just, you don't need to just look at the avatar perspective only. No, you have to also look at the spirit itself, that we are the living souls, and our soul has also state that it can portray out there and present itself to the society. That's why we say we always want divine society, for divine beings to express themselves to the fullest, rather than the society we have today, where they are mostly focusing on conditioning and limitation of on what someone has to portray him or herself. So, Holy Spirit represented as including feminine aspect. So you can now see that in this other aspect, it says Holy Spirit is where now a feminine aspect is portrayed. And I have got feminine where the Father and the Son, I think it's, you have gone a lot of verses that talk about the Father, the Son, that God is all powerful, and it portrays masculine energy. While in the feminine energy is where I got a verse to portray that God also is has a female, female, it has a female genders, and has to portray feminine energy. And the verse is Isaiah 66 verse 13. Isaiah 66 verse 13, and it says, as one whom his mother comforts, so I will comfort you. you shall be comforted in Jerusalem. You see, and because this verse is God Himself speaking. You see, as one whom his mother comforts, so I will comfort you. You see, God was speaking to his people that he will comfort his people. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem, like the mother to the well, how mother they comfort their children. Just look at when they at maternal age, when the child is inside the womb, when the mother is pregnant, always the mother look after that child. See, so the child get comforted until he grows up. This is now God portraying feminine energy. And now, according to Catholic Church, this is it says the Catechism of the Catholic Church, that is CCC, it states in reference to the Father. It portrays who God is in reference to the masculine energy. So it says God transcends the human distinction between the sexes. You see, He is neither man nor woman. He is God. You see, like portraying that God is not a man, he is not a female, but he is everything that exists. As we already said that God is nothingness. So he is neither man or woman, he is God. The sister discusses the traditional imagery and language of God as Father. You see, language of God as a Father. Now, like God Himself portraying the masculine energy, that is to look after His people at using masculine energy, but we don't want this portrayal because it promotes oppression, and once the lead up is portraying this masculine energy, then the other people, the followers, they end up also portraying the same imagery without looking within, discover their divine self, and realize that they are not just the avatars, but inside is where their true self resides. So it continues to say, it notes, however, that God is not limited to this law alone. God is not limited to portraying the masculine energy. It's not to this law. And maternal imagery is also used in the Bible. And the maternal imagery is what I have already said in Isaiah 66, verse 13. It also notes that human fatherhood only imperfect and reflect God's archetypal fatherhood, like the human fatherhood, the way we live as human, because God is in us, we are gods, but the way we live as human on the planet, you need to for you to the society we are living in is dependent on the conditioning and the take alone how society should know you, should identify you. Well, once the society is unable to identify your true self, the law you have portrayed that the society should identify you with, then it becomes you. It's like you are bringing confusion to what they have been conditioned to. So for you to bring light to what people have been conditioned to, you really need to use your critical thinking on how the right should develop, and uh, others should also see it and imitate and transform themselves and realize their true self. It can't happen just in a day. it will take time, but it's your job. You have to transform where you are, what you have been surrounded from the things you think are not of necessary to necessary things. That is to divine things for the divine society we want to achieve at the end of the day. That is what we really need to focus on. Yeah. So what who God is, masculine or feminine? I have already told you that God is everything that exists is in you. It can portray as masculine or feminine. As in a human perspective, then it choose the gender based on necessary things. Because once it is abusing what someone is wants to portray him or herself, then the oppression, that's when the oppression happens, and what someone have been conditioned might be affected on how now he's going to portray him or herself to the society. That is also you need to look into. That is the most important thing, that the society we are living and the divine society we want to create, it's up and those around you to share the information and discover, let them also discover the true self. In so doing, we are going to live up and realize our true self and enjoy life to the fullest. That is that. If you have any question or you want to, because this article is huge, there are a lot of information. Just go at Google and type uh, gender of God in Christianity. This one, remember, we have just looked at Christianity only. And remember, there are a lot of religion, and they explain also masculine and feminine on how God should portray himself. Like in Islam, the majority they present themselves, they took as God only the masculine. That's why some they even say only the uh, males should be in top position, which is also abuse. And there's some societies they have technology and realizing some they also say women also need to express themselves, like they fight for feminism, and it has worked. But all what have happened is now misunderstanding on how someone should portray his feminine energy. Or what is happening right now is like women they think they are more powerful, forgetting their law to and their avid respect. They are building more of egoistic identification of who they should portray themselves, and the society should know themselves. In the end, they end up regretting anxiety, depression on why, because yourself was not in line in God within you. In the end, God start hating the avatar it has imitated, and you end up now doing the things that you might be doing it, ending up in addictive behavior, things that make you addicted to. Why? Because you are not in love with yourself. So addiction also always leads to negative outcome. So take care. Love yourself, know thyself, realize your divine self within you. That is the most important you have to do. Bye. See you in another stream.